Happy Thursday, everyone. Oh, I hope you guys are doing great. It's Thursday, except that if you look at back of back of me, we're in Los Angeles. You're watching live at the EmPHorium in Los Angeles. But before I get to all of that, I just wanted to comment and maybe contribute to the awareness of an event that happened on August 5th. August 5th is a great day for Filipino Americans or Filipinos, period, in terms of culture, because I like to think that on August 5th, there was a movie that came out, right? There's a movie that came out. It's called Easter Sunday. I love the gentleman that's starring in it. I had the pleasure of watching him in his live show. His name is Jokoy. You probably know it. So just maybe consider this as another way to support what's happening in the Filipino American community in the United States, because this movie came out on Friday. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. It centers around this, Joker's character, and it's about Easter Sunday. So in this whole picture, to make a long story short, it really exposes not only the culture, the Filipino culture, the food, the family, the traditions and all that, but obviously it's just a good story overall. I don't know if you know this, I just read it, that it was actually produced by Steven Spielberg, and that's pretty exciting for a Filipino movie. Or I'm trying to not say the wrong things in terms of the way I'm describing this. At the end of the day, it's a good story, good movie, highly well produced by obviously a well-known producer like Steven Spielberg. So I'm happy. But the relevance, why I'm even mentioning all of that, is that it makes it easier for EmPHorium to create opportunities and awareness for Philippine products, services, and investments here in the U.S. market. That's why I'm doing it. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is I just saw a movie yesterday with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, this movie with Mark Wahlberg called Uncharted. It also mentioned Philippines at the end of the movie because they were looking for a treasure that it was in the Philippines, or at least close to it. And they mentioned Philippines a lot at the end. But with that being said, I'm just excited for all of the different things happening with Philippines in terms of that. And again, helping EmPHorium's cause to be able to promote Philippine products, right, in the U.S. market. Okay, with all that said, didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I just wanted to mention it because I was excited for it. My name is Ferdinand Soriano, and I am your host for today's episode or segment of Live at the EmPHorium. And before we get into what Live at the EmPHorium is about, I wanted to go ahead and tell you what Live at the EmPHorium is about. What EmPHorium is about. EmPHorium is a physical venue, and it's located at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in Los Angeles, California, 90010. And what it is, it's a first of its kind. It's a U.S.-based, Philippine-made and inspired product showroom and global business center. And what is it all about? Basically, the main purpose is to create awareness and sales opportunities for Philippine-made products, as well as services and investments in the U.S. market. And for those watching in the Philippines, magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat. Right now, I think it's about 8:05 in the morning, and then good early evening here in the U.S. Thank you all for watching. And by the way, before we go on with Live at EmPHorium is, please, this is the time where I want to know, I told you the address, where we're at, so tell me exactly where you guys are watching this. If you're watching this in the Philippines, give me a province, give me the city or whatever, and then tell us if you have a business there. Also put it onto the chat. And then also, if you're in the U.S., please tell me what city. So this way I know exactly where we're reaching. And I want to know if we need to do more, need to get more help in trying to get the word out, because our message is really to create opportunities for Philippine-made products here, and we need your help. So thank you so much for tuning in, but please tell us where you're at the moment. Okay. So today I'm excited for the show because we're going to do something totally different. Not totally different. It's just that the product, everybody thinks of, what we're doing is just all about products. But like I said, it's about services and investments, as well as intellectual property. Okay. In export, it's for products and services. The guest that we're having today, by the way, you got to stay tuned because we have 2 product live demos. And then Nancy from RAF is going to be here to talk about how to bring products from the Philippines to the U.S. And also, we're going to hear from a lady by the name of May Cruz, who is going to introduce her. She's going to be taking over the task of putting together the master classes for EmPHorium. And then at the end of the day, we're also going to hear from Eric Elnar, the Trade Commissioner in LA, later on to the show. But also, I wanted to let you know that if you stick around, I wanted to go ahead and let you know that I will be giving away the 2 products, a sample of it. And if you're interested, I'm going to ask you some questions at the end of the show to see if you actually were listening. All right, with that being said, the first guest, our first live demo, is somewhat interesting, because what it is that I'm a big fan of comic books since I was a kid. I've been watching it, right? So I've got a publisher from Cuento Comics, and she's going to tell us about the comic book that she published that's hopefully, I am crossing my fingers that will be an amazing platform for her to discuss all the different things about our culture, the Philippine culture, as well as being able to introduce products through the platform. But all of that, let me just go ahead and introduce her to you, because I can't wait for her to for you guys to meet her. Let me just go get the comic book. This is the comic book that I'm referring to, and it's called Halia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, let me go ahead and have her introduce all of that to you. So let me go ahead and introduce, please give her a big warm round of applause, to Cecilia Lim, the publisher of Cuento Comics. Hi there, Cecilia.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Ferdinand. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me going ahead and showing off the cartoon a little, the video, I should say, a little bit.
No, not at all. Actually looks pretty good on big screen.
Yeah, I love it, because I think there's a lot of potential in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
And I'm so excited that you actually started the show talking about the Joe Coy movie, Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
That is one of the focus of Cuento Comics, is we want to bring stories. And of course, Cuento means story in Tagalog. So
Correct.
we want to bring these stories so they could be showcased in Hollywood, and bring Filipino culture and Filipino mythology to the world.
Well, a lot of things that I want us to dive right into the origin story. There couldn't be, we need to have an origin story. So I'm going to turn over the camera to you, so to speak. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how Cuento Comics came about, and then we're going to get into your plans later on for your publication, and then tell us about what's in store and where can they get this comic book. And I'm actually going to try, I hope you don't mind, I finally got my copy of Cuento Comics right there. Right.
Great.
So I'm going to go ahead, and some lucky viewer will maybe get a shot at getting one of these. I'll send them one of the copies that you send me, and I hope you don't mind, because I really want them to read it. And besides, we got to incentivize we got to bribe our viewers to make sure that they will keep watching it.
Absolutely.
But anyway, with that being said, all joking aside, let me go ahead and turn the camera over to you and tell us how amazing, why Cuento Comics is amazing, and what it's going to do for our culture.
Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me. I am the creator and CEO of Cuento Comics. We started this concept of having a comic book about 4 years ago, but really got going 2 years ago. During the pandemic, we had a little bit more time to focus on it. But when my daughter and my daughter is actually a co-founder of Cuento Comics, when we went out to LA, we noticed there wasn't a whole lot of stories about Filipino characters in Hollywood. As you know, there's a gap between Joy Luck Club and Crazy Rich Asians of about 20 years. And so it's great to see that Joe Coy has been able to bring Easter Sunday to Hollywood. But we really wanted to bring these stories to life. And we thought comic books would be a great medium. There are so much Philippine mythology. And there's so many islands in the Philippines. They all have different creatures of the night and gods and goddesses. There's just a tremendous amount of history and folklore that we can bring to the world. Everybody knows Thor, and everybody knows Zeus and Apollo, Robin Hood, King Arthur, but they don't know Bakunawa or Halia. Halia is a lunar goddess. And the backstory, you asked about a backstory. So the backstory to our comic book, The Mask of Halia, is that Bakunawa was a Dewata of the sea. And initially, pre-colonial Philippines, there were 7 moons in the sky. And they were beautiful. And Bakunawa was wanted to possess the 7 moons. And he started eating each of the 7 moons. And as he was eating the moons, the creator god, sometimes called Kaptan, sometimes called Bathala, he stopped Bakunawa and said, no, you cannot continue eating the moons. And he turned Bakunawa into a sea serpent dragon, as what you see in our comic book. And Halia, who is the last lunar goddess, donned a mask of gold to hide herself from the Bakunawa. So that's the main story, and as we find out later on, villagers, pre-colonial Philippines, actually banged on pots and pans to ward away Bakunawa in times of earthquake or lunar eclipse. So it's a great story, and only one of thousands literally out there. So that's kind of the backstory, Ferdinand, of the initial book. We have, as you showed, this is the first issue. Let's see if I can get that centered there.
Yeah.
Of Master. We have issue 2 actually coming out end of this month.
You are a busy lady. Obviously, you're going ahead and promoting this. And I told you when we spoke last time that I have so many. I'm excited for the comic book only because not because it's just because you created it, but also I mean I finally got a glimpse of how you know the graphics, the color, the story. Very easy to read, and what I like about it is all of that. But what I like about it mostly is we talked about how this thing can blow up, right? I know I'm just maybe getting ahead of myself, but to me, there's a lot of people in the U.S., a lot of millennials who are interested, a lot of young people that are interested in finding about their culture. And I think you found a way to sort of engage them and make them think about it and really kind of dig deep into the history, like the mythology, right? I mean, I think that's exciting. And whether what whether it becomes an amazing publication or not, I just think already you're educating on that level.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we took a different take on the comics. All our entire team are women, Asian women, predominantly Filipinas, and we wanted to really showcase the amazing talent and artistry that we have in the Philippines. So all our artists are in the Philippines. Our head artists and colorists are from Davao. The first issue, the cover art is Kat Lena, who's from Cebu. We love the fact that we're telling stories about Filipina characters. So our heroine is a Filipino American teenager who goes back to the Philippines for the burial of her great great grand Lola, and finds out that she maybe comes from a line of mysterious shaman or witches. So we're trying to take a different take on it. So we're introducing Filipino mythology while also having a modern day story.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just trying to combine it all and bring everybody, again, stories about and related to Filipino culture. And we hope people will get educated and learn more about the Philippines through our comic book.
But like I said, I mentioned education, but I don't want to sort of make it think like it's some sort of educational book. It's not. It's very,
No.
very entertaining. It's not. That's not what I'm trying to convey. So anybody listening, oh, it's an educational book. No, it's actually really fun to read. A lot of the things that obviously comes into play when people read comic books is that you want to make it readable. You want to be entertained by not only, like by the graphics. And by the way, all the artists are amazing. The artwork is stellar in terms of as far as the quality of it. And then the book itself, the quality of the paper that you chose and all of that. I'm not an expert, but I do know what I like in terms of the quality. It's not just some cheap paper or something. So you went all out and try to make sure this is of high quality, product. But I want to make why you're here relevant to the show. And the reason why I asked you on the show is because exporting is about services and products. A lot of people think it's just products or something, right? But it's also intellectual property. So right now, let's go back to that thought, really go back quickly about the people that you hired or part of the Cuento Comics team. And again, what is your plan moving forward? How do you, maybe 6 months from now, where do you want to see the comic book obviously you want it to be more in the Philippines because a lot of your team is in the Philippines. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that as far as that's concerned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, when we first started, we really didn't know where our market would be. So we went to different comic book stores here in the U.S. We've been to several Comic Cons here in the U.S., Miami, and we just finished up in Chicago. Tremendous amount of Filipinos and everyone actually really coming by and taking a look at the artwork and the comic book and
Hmm.
giving us a lot of support. When my daughter and I went to the Philippines in June, we brought about 170 copies to the Philippines.
Hmm.
And we went to two Comic Cons there. One was Toy Con in Manila, and the other one was Comiket Iloilo.
Hmm.
Completely sold out. And everybody is looking for issue 2. So, because, as you know, it's sometimes difficult to get shipments to the Philippines.
Hmm.
It's expensive, and sometimes it takes a while. We decided to get a printer in the Philippines, and so uh, we have issue 2 coming out here in the States and in the Philippines, and we also created a Philippine edition of the first issue, showcasing one of the Filipino artists. Her name is Sawi, and she created a variant copy for us, and so we're going to be printing and we're going to be fulfilling orders in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. That's what I'm
absolutely.
talking about. Yeah, I get sort of crazy and excited about it because what you just did there is you're creating livelihood, right? You're enlisting the aid of a fulfillment center in the Philippines, and as well as the artist, and that's what I love, because at the end that's what EmPHorium is doing, and then you're doing that, and using the talents in the Philippines, which sometimes I think it needs more recognition, because I think a lot of amazing talents are in the Philippines, in terms of not only in being an artist, but also an artist in the tech world. I'm sure a lot of people may not know that, but again, with what you're doing, you're doing it, and that's amazing. I wanted to do more, because at least right now, the infrastructure of the Philippines is being built as we speak, in terms of trying to accommodate more investments there. But again, with that, so you have a lot of the talent from the Philippines. Now, how does one get a copy of Cuento Comics?
So, great question. Cuento Comics, we right now in the States, you can get it through our website at cuentocomics.com. And in the Philippines, you will be able to get it right now at Comic Odyssey. They've got a couple locations in Manila and Makati, and through Comiket Secret Headquarters. They still have a few copies of the first issue, but as soon as we start printing and we start getting orders, we'll be able to, they can come through our website, and I'll make sure that all your viewers get
You're
knows
so
where to
generous.
go.
You're so generous. I love that. I mean, see, that viewers actually got caught with some people. They're actually going to give me a discount. Thank you, Cecilia. Anyway, before we get into my next question, because we have a few more minutes left, but some of the people, like I said, like for Jeffrem, he made a comment. Let me go ahead and flash it on the screen. His comment was, "Bakuna is always my grandmother's magic word for us to stop doing anything foolish. She always say that we'll eat us alive if we keep being naughty." Oh my
I
God.
love it.
Yeah. Well, see, when I was a kid, the thing that made us, like one of the folklore, the mythology, I said, is where you're not supposed to go out in the. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's just something that I vaguely remember, where they make us go to sleep. You're not supposed to go outside. You might step on some duende, or like
Monday,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
I'm
right.
able to interview you for our next series, but our next series, I think we'll have some duende in there.
Oh my
It's going to be a
gosh.
little darker, a little bit more horror,
Yeah.
because we have some really scary creatures out there that I think mothers and Lolas used to scare the kids with. But as far as for the future, we really want to make sure our fans are happy. So we actually are also partnering up with a 3D animation studio,
Hmm.
Puppeteer Studios in the Philippines, so that we can get the comic books out quicker.
You see,
And
from from a logistic standpoint, I think that's the best. I mean, you told me that a lot of your artists, they want to fully be on this, this project or this publication all the time. They love it because, I want to segue into that. My last comment about the comics, because your mission statement is to go ahead and let me read it real quick because I love it. It says, our mission is to create stories that introduce Filipino and other Asian mythology through our riveting contemporary fantasy comic series. Our stories aim to inspire young women everywhere as they follow our female heroines who learn to spark the warrior goddess within. Our hope is that our readers will be inspired to face the future with hope, compassion, and grace, and born from an understanding of the past and the struggles of our ancestor. I completely agree in so many levels with that. I really think that when it comes to, you're touching on the history, the tradition, the culture, but also empowering young women to be the best that they can be. And like you said, to bring out the warrior goddess in them. That's amazing. I think that's a great way, great mission to do.
Well, thank you. And we hope that we spark the warrior goddess in all the entrepreneurs, not just the young girls out there, but I really want to make sure that folks understand that, you can have a passion about something or a hobby and turn it into a business. That's what we did.
Well, the reality is that when I first heard about it, that's something. The other thing too, by itself, I was just excited. But the other thing too is that we talked about this, and you're doing that from the level of the comic and entertaining it, right? From a business standpoint, we sort of talked about possibly figuring out a way to how do I say this, to subtly put Philippine products in some of the comic books, introduce that method of creating awareness for Philippine products. We haven't figured it out yet. I don't want to say anything to the audience and make them think that we're going to do that. It's just that I just thought overall that would be an amazing way to subtly put in Philippine products into the publication. Again, I use the word subtly.
Yeah. So if you get a copy of our comic books, you will see a lot of Filipino culture. There's food, and that's a wonderful thing. I think there's lots of folks that don't realize how wonderful Filipino food is, and that's just one aspect. But
I can show you my belly to show you how amazing Philippine food is.
Yeah. So, but we have a really talented team of writers and artists, and we hope that folks are going to enjoy the story, the artwork, and will continue following us in our journey. We have about 15 issues planned, and the second one coming out end of this month, and we'll have the third issue hopefully by the end of this year. So very, very excited for all our issues, and we hope fans will come out and purchase.
Cecilia, speaking of purchase, let me go ahead and read some of the comments that are on here. The first one is, this is from April Gay. April, by the way, is an amazing supporter of the show. She is always watching and always making comments, and I appreciate that. So she asked, do you offer e-copies of the Cuento comics?
Yes, we are digitally on Amazon Kindle. So if you go to the Amazon Kindle store and type in The Mask of Hilia, you should be able to find it.
Perfect. And then I know this lady. Her name is Waverly Lim. Waverly, you're amazing. You're actually watching and making some comments. Thank you. So hopefully after this show, you get to watch other show. But Waverly, you're an amazing team. I'm happy to have Cecilia here and all of your team. More power to all of what you guys are doing, because at the end, you guys get elevated. Everybody gets elevated, not only from educating the masses, but also creating opportunities for Philippine products investments here in the U.S. market. So let me go ahead and see if I can get some more comments. There's Mary Flor Cruz. She says, amazing. And then she said that Giro Tomasi, she said, yeah. I said, I want to say it like excitedly, yeah, more Filipino themed comics. And then last but not least, let's say Waverly said again, yeah, like what you said, you're on Amazon Kindle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, with that being said, going back to plans, anything else that you want to share? I know you're planning to maybe take a trip in LA for the Long Beach Comic Con.
Yes, we will. We will be in LA for the Long Beach Comic Con. We're probably going to be at FPAC in some form or fashion. We're going to be in San Francisco for the San Francisco International Book Festival, and that is going to be in October. So we've got a lot of events planned, and hopefully, your viewers can catch us at one of the events.
Well, maybe I'll let the cat out of the bag. I'm trying to convince you to visit EmPHorium in person. Maybe we can do something because you're going to be here anyway. Might as well, right? You're going to drop by, and maybe we can plan a little bit, somewhere to get together. Maybe some, some comic book signing or whatever. But at the end of the day, we want you to visit EmPHorium so that we can again talk about different things and how we can collaborate in the future, and also how can we uplift more and create more subscribers or readers of the comic book. Because again, you're not only looking at having an entertaining book to read, you're being educated, and then you're being empowered. That's basically what we're all trying to do here at EmPHorium too: elevate, educate, and entertain. So with that being said, I always like to have the guests leave with a last maybe memorable thing they want to leave us with as far as the comic book, or whatever the heck you want to say, Cecilia.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm just so grateful to the Filipino community for embracing us, embracing the comic book. We love all our fans, and please interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, YouTube, at Cuento Comics. Drop us a line, send us photos of you reading or enjoying the book. We'd love to hear from our fans. But thank you again, Ferdinand, for having us, and I'm looking forward to visiting the showroom and maybe doing a signing or two.
Yeah, I'd love that. That would be so much fun. I mean, then we can take pictures of you trying out the different products from the Philippines here. I mean, there's so many products that I want you to experience here, whether it be snacks, drinks, or whatever. But you know what? Thank you so much again for I wish you all the luck and all of the success that you could have with this book, because I know that you don't do this. I think I can say it half-assed. I think you go for it, right? You're going for all of this, full throttle and doing whatever you can to make sure it works. Because, like I said, not only educating but elevating the culture and its origin, its history. So thank you so much for being on our show, and hopefully you get to come back again.
Absolutely, thank you, Ferdinand.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, and we'll talk. Call you. All right, everybody. I just love having fun with the guests, because at the end of the day, that's what makes for a good show, or just banter or whatever. But again, before we go on to the next segment of the show, which is the vendor spotlight, again, thank you guys for making a comment on what's happening, or about the event and all of that. But remember, keep in mind that I need for you to remember a lot of things, because I'm going to give away a copy of Cuento Comics, and I'm going to ask you a question. So whoever comes up with the first, who has first and come up with the answer, will get the comic books. I'll mail it out to you. But again, I want to know, where are you guys watching? If you guys have a business that you guys are, wanting to promote, please put it on the chat. I want to know what businesses in the Philippines are currently on here, and maybe I can even interview you, and maybe we can make some sort of arrangement to have your products be brought to EmPHorium in terms of displaying it here. But tell me where you guys are at, what city, what province, and again, why are you watching the show? And if you guys want to go on live with the guests, I can do that. I can send you an invitation, and then maybe we can get you on and ask questions directly. All right, so let me go ahead and let's see if I can go ahead and bring up our next guest. Our next guest is the one that's creating a difference in the way we're able to bring in people in the show, or rather in the showroom. I want to bring in I'm hoping for her to be the constant the vendor that actually helps a lot of people. By the way, she is helping a lot of them, I should say. The freight forwarding company that's helping a lot of the Philippine manufacturers get an idea of how to bring Philippine products into the U.S., as well as find out what the costs are and things of that nature. So, because a lot of Philippine manufacturers sometimes they hesitate to bring products in, even if it's a sample amount, because they don't know what the costs are. They probably think it's exorbitant and whatever. But my next guest kind of explains how to do all of that. But I always want to have her on the show because there's people watching, and I want her to be able to answer it and focus on things like, well, how much, what's the typical rate, how do you pack it, and what are the requirements to bring products into the EmPHorium. So with that being said, I want to bring up, without further ado, my next guest. She is from RAF International. That's RAF. Her name is Nancy Marquez. Hiya, Nancy.
Good morning. Hi there. Good morning.
I
Good
am.
morning from the Philippines. How are you?
I'm always, like you said, I'm always excited to have you here because of the fact that you kind of put all the pieces together in terms of trying to bring a lot more of the Philippine manufacturers. You're an encourager. Let me put it that way, because the more they talk to you, the more they understand what the way to bring Philippine products into the U.S. The more we're getting a lot more reaction because they're getting quick responses from you. That's exactly what I'm feeling with our assistant in the Philippines, TC Cabog. She has been coordinating a lot of this stuff with you. I don't know if you want to give us a quick summary of what's been happening, but all I know is that ever since you came on, a lot more people are asking how to bring products into the EmPHorium, and that's always good. So please welcome Nancy.
Thank you, Ferdinand, and thank you, TC, also for setting up our message chats with the different groups, with the different would be. This week or past couple of weeks, we got inquiries from for a Limoncito product. It's a juice, and it's based in Dumaguete. We also got inquiries for sending um, honey to the States, as well as Adlai rice. All those are actually easy to send with prior notice. It's for food, so it's pretty easy to send it. I've been talking about these boxes here. This is your 5 kilo box and your 7 kilo box. But if you think that is, because for the most part, Ferdinand, it's cost. Bottom line is the cost, no? If the shipper is working on a budget, so they want to keep their shipment at a minimum or smaller than 5 kilos, then I have this pouch actually. In fact, we received McKinney is one of your manufacturers also. McKinney is a leather goods makers. Mariel Menansala. He packed this really nicely, so it's all bubble wrap, and you can't see what's inside, but this is going to you. So we're sending this, I think, over the weekend. Um,
Wonderful.
yes, so
I'm,
it's going to
I'm,
go
I'm
inside this
looking.
pouch. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that because it's another way to showcase or demonstrate or show to the world the arts and craft, the craftsmanship of Philippine artisans, and those are all leather products. I think some of them are bags, and
Yes.
and some are keychains maybe, but. At the end, I wanted to display it here and then even get him on the show to show how amazing these products are. But anyway, that's on another segment. So, what has been your experience? What has been your, their biggest questions or concern, other than obviously the price? Has there been any issues as far as, the packaging and how much can be put in a box and all of that?
Um, I've talked to a couple of them, and their concern was how much or what is the weight that I can put inside a box with its dimensions and all that good stuff. So, um, for the most part, what you want to do is you want to maximize the weight to match the volumetric weight. A volumetric weight is your length times width times height of your box, and there is a calculation, and you can find that actually on Google anywhere. And so you want your actual weight to match your volumetric weight to maximize what you're sending. So in the case of McKinney, in the case of this bag, since it's going inside a pouch, this does not have any dimensions. It's going to go out, and the chargeable weight will be based on the actual weight. So when I weighed this only weighs zero point 0.9 of a kilo. So the chargeable will be only 1 kilo, and that's $26 plus surcharges. So this is
Wow.
a yeah, 20,
Wow.
$26 in, of course, exchange rate will be based on IATA. I think today or yesterday it was at 55 point some. So this is very cost efficient, and so um, this is this you should have this by middle of next week. So it's pretty
My
easy.
God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. No, because my dream for Emporium, my vision for Emporium is to, even if we get it to a consistent level, is to basically for us to have a systematic way of bringing all of them combined. I know that
Yeah.
there's got to be some sort of benefit of consolidating all the samples, but obviously I don't know if it makes a difference if you're consolidating like foods with arts and crafts or anything like that. So do you have any comment regarding that, whether we start doing that where you can mix and match, so to speak, or is that going to be a problem if we were to do something like that?
I don't think it's going to be a problem, Ferdinand. Thing is, um, the timing. Say, for instance, if this particular lot of samples they're ready to ship out, and we're going to wait for another lot for another batch, and if the timing is such that we have to wait for this other manufacturer to send in their goods, then it's just basically just the timing. But
Okay.
if we tell them that, or we have a shipment going out on this day, then bring it in. If it's since we're sending it out express, then timing will be everything.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, the beauty of how we're trying to create Emporium's, the system, is that obviously not all of them are in a big hurry. Because what
Mhm.
we do with the samples is not only do we create events once the products are here, we feature on the live stream, and then we want to do when we want to put them in our catalog. So that this is one of the ways we provide any sort of value to them because as I said in the past, it's free for our viewers who want to bring their products in and have it displayed here. That's what
Mhm.
we do. That's what Emporium does. If there's anything else beyond what they want to do, then that's something that we can talk to them about and customize their service. But the most important thing that for me is that we figure out constantly trying to adjust or fine tune the delivery of the products, because I'm hoping that someday all of these, at least 90% of them, will become bigger orders, like from boxes to
Mhm.
pallets to hopefully even containers. And I'm
Yes.
hoping that we continue to convince them to see how amazing your company is, RAF, to be able to do all of that from samples to hopefully someday container loads.
Yes, definitely, definitely. What we can do is we'll work out setup rates, or make it more cost effective. So what you're saying is send it out in a batch. So we send out a 20 kilo box perhaps, and we work out a cost effective rate that'll be more affordable if we, for the shipper, for the
Yeah.
merchant. Okay.
Well, so far everybody's been amazed with you. There was a couple of people that really wanted to talk to you. I want to go ahead and do a shout out to Archie, who was here last week, Armada.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and then a gentleman by the name of Glenn Espino, who is actually, I think, if they have not already spoken to you, he wants a product from the Philippines to come here, obviously. And then you may need to, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to Jiro Tamase, one of our viewers. He's for M2. I think he's
Yes.
planning to bring some products in also, and he's just trying to get the best possible rate, and possibly even thinking about consolidating obviously his products, because I think he's doing really well with the drink, and I
Mhm.
want him to obviously get an opportunity to trust out your service, and because I know you're doing business with him already in the Philippines.
Yes, we when years ago I worked with Jiro's mom. She's an amazing woman and very very enterprising, and she's a great person to work with. And so M2 is already in the groceries and all over the Philippines. So yes, I'm very familiar with M2, and I talked to Jiro. So I would just have to speak again, talk again. I talked to
And
we visited Archie as well, and we're waiting to hear back from Glenn.
well, I want to go ahead before you go. I want to go ahead and some of the stuff that people are saying. So,
Mhm.
Quinto Comics was just on, as you know. Yes, I'm reading what it says. Come visit us at upcoming events. Oh, that's their. Oh, by the way, so for Quinto Comics, they're having an event. Anybody who's watching from the U.S., please go visit them in September 3 and the 4th. She said, also, we love RAF.
Yeah,
She loves your that's the other thing that I want to emphasize, your customer service, right? Your customer service is amazing. So even if they think your price is this or that, it doesn't matter. You treat them all with patience and with a patience mentality. I love that. Let's see. And then there's a company called Double Force Entertainment. I don't know who that is, but she said Nancy at RAF is great to work with, wonderful customer service. And thank you for watching that. And I want to know who Double
thank
Force
you.
Entertainment. Do you know who they are?
It's Cecilia.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even pay attention to who that is.
I think that's their I think that's their company in
Okay.
my yeah for yeah we're working with Quinto Comics to for their distribution here in the Philippines. So
Yeah, because
yeah, I'm in
that's
contact
another
with them.
thing that you guys do. You help people with fulfilling orders and things of that nature. So that's good. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
With that being said, I hope that you will always, continue again every week to give us an update on the trials and tribulations of the potential exporters, because it's not a matter of you're calling people out or whatever. I just want people to really to really understand. I mean, I welcome all of the ones that are thinking about it, what their challenges are, but please come back every week, give us an update on what's happening with the potential exporters, what their challenges are, any thoughts on how to properly ship the product. Those are the things that's so invaluable and that encourages them to want to export, Nancy.
Certainly, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to help and be here next week again. All
Okay,
right.
great. Okay, with that being said, your day just started. I know it's Friday. I know it's Friday. I don't know if you guys are like here. The moment that thing comes around, Thursday, some people in the U.S. are already calling it Friday Eve, right? Just to make them feel like it's the weekend is
All
already.
right. Yes. Thanks
But
for having me, Ferdinand. You
you're
take care.
welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right,
All
bye
right.
bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again for tuning in. So the people are making the comments right now. I appreciate all of that. But please continue to let me know where you guys are at. What's the name of their company that you want to promote on our show? Just go ahead and do that. And then let us know if there's anything that you want us to bring in the future in terms of guest products or anything like that. Because at the end, I always say, it's all about just creating a collaborative effort for all the people in the Philippines with us also, and then trying to create opportunities. So with that being said, in terms of education, this is the part that we recently partnered up, collaborated with a company called Global Business Impact. And Global Business Impact is the company, and I'll let her tell you who she is and what the name of the company, what the company is about. But they're the one who's going to start collaborating with us and delivering what we call EmPHorium's master class. So we're going to be talking about how to get paid quicker with your transaction between the Philippines and the U.S. with your buy and seller. We're going to talk about FDA compliance, all of that. She's the one. This lady, this individual, is the one who's going to create all of that. Those classes for you all to take advantage of, especially in the Philippines, but also, of course, here in the U.S., depending on the category that we're trying to teach. But with that said, let me go ahead and introduce her. Her name is Mariflor Cruz. Let me see if I can get her on. Hold on. There you go. Hi, May.
Hi, Ferdinand. What's happening to my screen?
You look fine. You look fine. So
Oh,
what I
really?
wanted to I wanted you to talk about just quickly who you are, what we're going to about to do, and provide more value to our viewers or to all the Philippine exporters and manufacturers regarding the masterclass. So I'll let you have the camera and take it away.
Yes, I'm May Cruz. You can call me May Cruz. The company Global Business Impact will be co-hosting the next master classes for EmPHorium, and we'll start it off with a master class that will introduce um, the participants to one of our services at the EmPHorium, which will be um, being trade management specialists for companies in the Philippines. For those companies, it's going to be on demand. And for companies who don't have their department or office or export department, um, our company through the EmPHorium will be the one to handle all their trade management needs. So that would be the first masterclass topic that we're going to conduct, and we'll send out the flyers, the posters, and the invites probably after this live streaming that we're having right now. And the other master classes will also share with you as it goes as we schedule it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, basically, what we sort of veered away a little bit from the master class, and that's why we thought it would be an amazing thing to do from an organization standpoint to really collaborate with another company to be able to deliver these master classes that I think is going to be relevant for Philippine exporters and manufacturers in terms of, how to understand the U.S. market, FDA compliance, how to get paid quicker, like I said earlier. So I'm glad that, you'll be helping us with that. And we really need help because as EmPHorium is growing, we don't want to lose what's important, which is the education aspect of it. We're doing these live demos, we're getting perspective, but they still need some information that will help them make that decision and empower them, May. So bringing these classes back together again in a consistent manner, that's going to be fantastic. And I appreciate the fact that Global Business Impact is going to go ahead and join us in doing that.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. With that said, I'll let you go because I know, like everybody else, everybody's super busy. And I thank you for being on here. And then again, when is the next masterclass, or when are we targeting the next masterclass in the topic again?
And then it's gonna be on a Friday, so it's probably first week of September or third week of September because we have events this coming week.
Okay,
August
fantastic.
18th. So after that event.
I know that there's another event that it's on the travel industry that EmPHorium's taking place, doing something next week, but we can talk about that on our next show. But with that said, thank you so much, May. I appreciate it. And then we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
Hey guys, I'm back again and trying to convince you guys. Tell me a little bit more about what you guys are up to in terms of where you guys are at, what's important. Remember, keep in mind, I'm going to give away a copy of that Cuento Comics, and I need you to make sure you stick around, and then I'll ask you a question, and whoever gives me the first, the first person to give me the correct answer, then I'll go ahead and send that out to you. So let me see if there's any sort of things that I need to go ahead and address here. We have a TC from the Philippines who just said good morning. And again, I'm excited for all the people that have been watching and making comments, especially with Cuento Comics. We still have the live demo product, but before we bring on the live demo product, because we want to save them for last, because I want to spend a little bit more time with them, but don't go away because it's an amazing product that you don't want to miss in terms of, I've never experienced this product before, but it should be interesting. It has something to do with cooking and drinking. All right, but before we do that, let me go ahead and bring our biggest supporter and collaborator for EmPHorium, the Trade Commissioner of Philippine Trade and Investment Center here in Los Angeles. He's always giving us perspectives and ideas on what's in store between, anything happening between the Philippines and the U.S. in terms of international trade. So with that being said, let me go ahead and bring up the Trade Commissioner of the Philippine Trade and Investment Center in Los Angeles, Eric Elnar. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Ferdinand. Hi, everyone.
I wanted to get right to it as far as any new announcement, anything interesting. I know that you went to certain events this weekend, I think. And if you want to care to share what event was that, and also anything new, any news coming in from the Philippines, we would love to hear, especially me.
Yep. So this weekend, it's all about fashion. We attended the Asia Pacific Fashion Week at the iconic Roosevelt Hotel last Saturday. They featured designers, Filipino designers that are based abroad, as well as design center or design circle members from the Philippines. So this show, the Asia Pacific Fashion Week, will continue on to its Las Vegas leg this Saturday, August 13th. And hopefully those in Las Vegas could catch the show and also see the products that are featured there. Next week, I believe, if you haven't mentioned it yet, Ferdinand, we have a feature for the show. We will live stream the um, Retire in Style program by Ms. SP Agbayani. This program is geared towards baby boomers who are looking at the Philippines maybe as a retirement destination, or not only for retirees, but those who would want to have like a second life in the Philippines, maybe start afresh, start anew in the Philippines, and get more bang for the buck. I always hear you say that. Get more bang for their buck. You see, if someone is maybe retiring on a $2,000 um, Social Security benefit here in the U.S., that's a bit on the low side, right?
Yeah.
Their budget. But in the Philippines, $2,000 would already, give you a lifestyle fit for a king. Good, good environment, good community, plus all the amenities and all the comforts that you can have here in the U.S., but for more and then less money in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
hopefully, they could join us next week.
well, hopefully, I mean we might not have a live at the Emporium because we're going to intend to cover this as the live at the Emporium segment and do something different where we're talking about investment, because so far in all of our episodes we've been talking about pretty much products and services, but now we want to get into investments in the Philippines that you might not be aware of. All our U.S. viewers that Philippines is an amazing place. It's, to me, I like I told you, Eric, I feel like it's not just about it's not just about the retirement. It's these days, you can work pretty much everywhere, and knowing that maybe you can take a good part of your time and live in the Philippines and do your work with all of the improvements in the infrastructure, and more so now I'm hearing a lot of improvements in internet, and hopefully that comes in soon, and that'll really create an opportunity or an enticement for people to go in the Philippines.
Yeah, I believe they call them digital nomads.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and that's what I wanted to hear from you. So, Eric, thank you so much for giving us a perspective on it. Hopefully, see you next week, and then we're also going to be attending another event, I think, in San Diego, also for anybody who's maybe watching us in San Diego on August 19th, where you guys are doing a presentation. The Consul General's office here in LA is doing a presentation in San Diego, the business community there, Phil-Am business community, as well as the Asian business community. And it was kind enough for Consul Maynard to invite me and hopefully get to expose some of the Philippine products that we currently have in the showroom.
Yep. See you there also.
Okay, we'll see you there. And again, Eric, thank you so much. And then we will talk again with you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. So now this is the part that I'm looking forward to, because one, I've never had this product. I want to know how the heck it's made, right? and where can we get it, and what's their journey so far in introducing their product, not only in the Philippines, obviously they're in the Philippines, but what are their plans for the US? So with that being said, again, I want to go ahead and introduce the representative of this product. Her name is Vanessa. Vanessa Panugan. I want to make sure I said it right. Vanessa Panugan. I talked to her, and I think her daughter will be joining us. I'll let her introduce her daughter in regards to demonstrating the product. But they've been waiting patiently. Thank you, ladies, for waiting. And I saved the best for last, because I think that you went all out in trying to put together your presentation and your live demo, and I want to give you as much time as possible. So take it away. Let me go ahead and introduce her to you. Hi, Vanessa.
Before I begin, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to EmPHorium for having J. Saki Enterprises as a guest, and of course, as well to the audience. We would like to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Seeing the short but mesmerizing product of video of J. Saki rice wine, we have a hint on what it is about. But first, let's try to know who J. Saki Enterprises is and what it represents. J. Saki rice wine was initially known as Vino de San Miguel and was first produced back in the year 2016, thus becoming the first ever producer of rice wine in Bohol, Philippines. J. Saki rice wine was created by a dedicated mariner with a passion for exploring different flavors while keeping traditions and his native roots in the core of his creations that ultimately made J. Saki rice wine into reality. This naturally fermented processed rice wine is rich in flavor with a hint of sweet taste, making it an easy favorite local and international wine enthusiasts, and allowing us to reinvent the representation of Bohol pride through an enjoyable drink. Some of you may wonder, would I get easily drunk? Answer is no. At J. Saki, we believe in the spirit of enjoying the moment, accompanying J. Saki rice wine, having a wine with only 9 to 12% alcohol. Allow us to present our original J. Saki rice wine. It is a great reminder that our wine is a best served chilled to fully enjoy its rich taste. Carefully spin the glass and gracefully sniff to smell before drinking. With the consistent growing interest of our locals, J. Saki was able to pave way in creating more flavors of rice wine. J. Saki honey rice wine, a balanced mixture of rice and honey, all processed and fermented naturally. Our products comes in different sizes for each flavor. Our original flavor is available in 750 ml, 200 ml, 350 ml, and 50 ml, while our honey flavor is available in 300 ml and 50 ml. Join in and experience one of Bohol's pride, the first rice wine producer, J. Saki Rice Wine, where we strive to reinvent Boholano representation through liquor.
Vanessa, I had the pleasure of you giving me a sample of J. Saki whiskey, the honey bee, as well as I didn't see this one. The other what's this one? Because for whatever reason my eyeballs can't read it at the moment. This particular one, the one with the purple the label.
The J. Saki Honey Rice Wine.
Oh, that's the honey rice wine.
J. Saki original flavor and the J. Saki whiskey.
Well, what I wanted to do is that I got it the other day, and thank you for having your brother bring it to us. And I want to say thanks to your brother for bringing the product to us. I have yet to taste it, but I want to know what is rice wine usually, because I was doing a little bit of research, and a lot of the product the wine is made by is it being fermented, the rice starches using yeast and lactic acid bacteria to produce alcohol? How is it made? And what's the closest wine that you or beverage you can tell me, or alcohol drink that you can tell me that's similar to it?
It is similar to the famous Japan sake.
Ah, okay. I've tasted sake. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. I like it. So right now, when it comes to the Philippines, how much are the tip? The regular size bottle. How much are you selling it in the Philippines?
The 750 ml worth of 300 pesos. The
Mhm.
200 ml is 150 pesos.
Mhm.
The 350 ml is 200 pesos. And the 50 ml is 50 pesos.
Wow, that that's pretty good, because obviously, and when you do that in terms of the conversion, yeah, that's anywhere from $4 to $7, right? In terms of that, so that's great. Okay, so in terms of you think with Emporium and the way we can help, what type of help do you need, or what are your plans for Saki wine to reach the U.S. market? What type of services, or what do you hope for your product in 6 months from now?
We definitely need help in sharing our beloved product outside of the Philippines in order to let people enjoy our drinks.
Hmm. Because right now, when it comes to the product, one thing I really want to emphasize is that when we do these shows, sometimes the product is still in development and trying to get everything compliant, or anything with the labeling and things of that nature. To me, I'm always looking, hopefully we find a buyer that's watching it, or a reseller that's interested in creating a business from Philippine made products. And that's what I hope for any of the products that we present in the show, whether, because sometimes a lot of the Philippine manufacturers, they want to be in the US. They're working on a buyer, big buyers. But at the end, there's also a lot of potential with small small businesses, small entrepreneurs that want to create these business. They want to form their own business, and that's what I'm hoping. But who would be the ideal customer for you? Like, what type of where would you want to see your products?
Our target market are for above 30 ages, but it is not limited in in those age.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, I like to see this more obviously in well, obviously bars, hotels, restaurant. And speaking of restaurant, what type of food normally would go with a wine? I'm somewhat challenged, only because I'm a very light drinker. So as far as wine, I know what I like, but I'm not like a connoisseur. But when it comes to rice wine, what type of food goes well with it? I also heard you can use rice wine for cooking also, right?
Yes, it is perfect for adobo or
Wow.
teriyaki. A lot of chefs actually already experimented with our wine.
Hmm. Yeah, because I was reading, it says that a lot of this they added to dishes or into marinades or sauces like teriyaki as a flavor enhancer. So it's pretty big, obviously, in most Asian countries, right? Every country. So what's the difference, do you think, between a rice wine from I think Japan or China, and then, because I was looking at the countries that make it, right? So what would you say is the one big difference between your products and also China, or maybe Japan or India?
The only difference is that our drink is revolves around Filipino culture and how we want to better improve our dishes through the wine.
Hmm. Okay, now there was a brand there. You sent me a video, and I always like, just like the first guest that we had. I like origin stories. So you sent me a video of the logo of your company. Tell us a little bit about that also, because I want to put acknowledgement to that, because you sent this video to me, but at the moment I can't show it. But I want to know more about what that video, or how you came about with the logo.
Yes, the logo is about the two monkeys. It means the son and the father and the son, which is my husband and my son. They are born in a year of the monkey.
Mm. Okay, so basically that's just you have it's a family business, father and son, kind of what you're trying to portray. It's obviously a family business, right?
Yes, and try to bring focus to our bonding.
Well, that's what we're all known for. Obviously, just like in the first guest, we had a lot of discussion about Filipino culture. I mean, this product probably would have been amazing in that new movie with Joe Coy, the one that we just recently released. I would have loved to have product placement on rice wine there, because your product seems to be obviously about family, tradition, the culture. And I think that's an amazing way to create a company where everybody's involved. Earlier, I spoke to, in preparation for your appearance, we talked to your daughter too. I thought she might be actually joining us and talking about the product, but I guess maybe she's camera shy. No?
She's
Okay.
working behind the camera.
But the other thing too that I'm impressed about your company is that when I did my Google search on your company and your product, you actually even have podcasts explaining the product. So it's one thing. I don't know if that was you. I think that was your company. You guys have a podcast, right?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's what I mean. A lot of times, just like what we do here, we try to educate the consumer on what these products are about, how to, what to use them for. But on your podcast, how can people, right now, can you tell me again, where can they buy the product? And then also tell us a little bit about what your podcast is about. Do you teach people or talk about how to use the product on your podcast?
Yes, the product can be bought in our Facebook page, Saki Enterprises. We have also in podcast. You can found in the Spotify by searching Saki Enterprises. And also we have in eBay just lately, eBay International, and also in Shopee and Lazada. For
Okay, good.
bulk orders, you can purchase in Zilingo.
I wanted to add another screenshot of your product right there. Okay, so those are your current products that I am impressed. I have to tell you about the labeling, because labeling in the U.S. is very critical when people are buying or trying something different. Many times, a lot of people also, when it comes to the products, obviously the pricing is critical to why people would want to try it. Because the other day I was at a grocery store and I was looking at all these different wines that they offering. And sometimes you have to do different things to get people's attention. But see, the one thing that I would like to do in the near future is I actually want to create an event to have people taste the rice wine. Because like I was telling everybody, when you can go on podcasts, you can go on social media and all of that, right? And I say this to everyone, not just because of you said that you have a podcast. You could tell them amazing the product all day long, but if the product is not here, then they can't experience it. That's where it sort of doesn't matter what you're doing, because that's the reason why when I first heard of your product, and by the way, I discovered their product for all those people watching, because we did this is where you met TC, right? Teresa Cabog, right? At the event. And that's how we discovered rice wine. And basically they were in a trade show, a big trade show. And we told her, yeah, we got to get her on the show. And that's how it came about and how we did this. But at the end, I think the moment people taste the product is probably when you get people hooked. But how are you going to do that in the U.S. if you don't have samples? And that's why I told you, Vanessa, right away that I wanted some samples, because we want to have people taste it, give us their feedback, and sort of do some more research for you. So this way, when eventually you get you're at that point where you want to ship all these products and we get you distributors and things of that nature, then you eventually, people will see how amazing it is. So again, thank you for sending the samples.
Yes, we will. We will try this week or next week for our sample bottles. And we're working also in our US FDA, and it's a pleasure as well.
Yeah, see, I love all these products, like I said. So this way, now, Vanessa, we're probably up at that point where, is there anything else that you would like to add on? What would you want people in the U.S. to know about your product? And again, I welcome anybody if they're interested in finding more about Jaisaki rice wine to visit EmPHorium and experience it. Maybe you can have a drink with us, and just try out the product. Because like I said, now you can tell. See, Vanessa, if you have family besides Mark here already, now you see the beauty of it. You can tell them to come and visit EmPHorium, and then we'll let them taste it and see how amazing it is, right?
Yes, soon.
Yeah. So is there any comments that you want to make? The last comments that you want to make, Vanessa, about the product?
You can find more information about our Jaisaki rice wine through our social media pages, the Jaisaki Enterprises in Facebook, Instagram, Jaisaki Enterprises. We have also in podcasts as Jaisaki in Spotify and Jaisaki Enterprises. And also for those trying to check out in TikTok, we are also in TikTok.
Are you in one of those TikTok videos, Vanessa?
For the teenagers.
I want to try TikTok. So have you tried doing a TikTok video, Vanessa?
Yes, we have already our account in TikTok. You can find Jaisaki Enterprises in TikTok.
Okay, Jaisaki Enterprises, love it. Thank you so much. I love your background. I love the way you set up the table. Thank you so much. As far as the presentation was amazing. Again, if you guys want to check out, taste the product, and you're in the LA area, please go visit the EmPHorium. We're located in Los Angeles. The address again is 3250 Wilshire Boulevard, number 602 in LA. And the products are here. Please, if any of the products that we featured in the past, you want to experience it, taste it, and see how it is, please come by. And if you're interested in a catalog of what products are in the EmPHorium, and we're planning to put that, these products in there, please let us know, and we can send it to you. So if you're interested in a catalog of the products that are currently in EmPHorium, if you're watching right now, please go ahead and put in your email and say, we want a catalog, and we'll send one out to you through email, obviously, to get it to you quicker. Other than that, the last comment that I saw here, a lady by the name of Marianne Salazar, Vanessa, she said, Bohol is also known for the tarsier. I love Bohol, and I love wines. Again, thank you so much for the amazing presentation that you did. My hats off to you, as well as your daughter. And thank you so much again for being in our show. And then hopefully, as the progression of your company and the FDA becomes a reality, please, I want you to come back, and hopefully you're able to talk more about the wine, and seeing that if we can get EmPHorium to help you create more awareness here in the U.S.
Okay, thank you, Ferdinand, and to all the staff of EmPHorium. Hoping to tingle your tongues with Jaisaki rice wine.
Thank you so much. Love it. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, and we will talk soon, Vanessa. All right, so I'll just leave the screen there and just talk briefly about what's just happening. Oh, there's a comment from Selena Bella, rice wine in Bohol. So a lot of people know about, obviously, rice wine, and I have been living under a rock because I didn't know anything about all of that. But like I said, I'm not really a drinker of any sort. Yeah, I'll drink here occasional beer, like I said, maybe some hard liquor, but not like I'm an expert. But I do like wine, especially if it's paired off with something, a dish that complements the taste. I'm all about the experience. Okay, with that being said, I'm hoping that you guys been watching. Whoever's been watching is able to, what's the word I'm looking for? To tune in and let us know that you have been watching. So one of the ways I'm going to do that is I want to give away a copy of the Mask of Halia, and I want to know a simple question: what is the name of the troubled Filipino American teen who travels a two-part? What's her name and where does she travel to? Okay, if you guys hear me, the heroine on this edition of the Cuento Comics, tell me the name of the heroine, the teen heroine, and where is she traveling to, what province in the Philippines, and whoever guesses it correctly first, I will send a copy, and then just put your email. I'll reach out to you, and I'll give you this information. I mean, this comic book, because I want everybody to really read it. Now, last thing, because we've gone over sort of our time. Now, one thing that I want to tell everybody is this has been a long journey in terms of trying to create awareness for Philippine products, especially through this live stream that we're doing in live demos. So we appreciate you guys being here and being a part of this journey so far, right? So we want to continue to create various types of format, but right now we love the idea of continuing to provide live demos so you can see, especially in the US. What we're trying to go for is the live demos for US-based entrepreneurs to see the product, and then Philippine manufacturers to really understand what the market is all about and what they can learn about the U.S. market, from compliance to shipping and all of that. So thank you for all of that. Now, next week, we might not be doing a regular, we're going to be doing a special edition of Live at the EmPHorium. We're going to be featuring a seminar, a discussion for about an hour about Philippine investments. So anything regarding what the lady who's put it together, Eric Elnar, the trade commissioner, mentioned it earlier, and he was saying something about the different ways to possibly retire in terms of investments in the Philippines, and it has something to do with real estate. So the lady who is going to do the seminar, her name is SP Agbayani, and she will be here next Thursday. And the edition of Live at the EmPHorium will probably be like around 1 or 2 o'clock, and that will be our edition for next week. And that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off at this point. It looks like, again, thank you so much for Marianne, Rosalinda Batabat, Elaine Vegan, M. Chris Orino, Selena Abella, Jack Sparrow, M. Chris Orino, May Cruz, Teresa, Cuento Comics, April Gay, Jiro Tamasi, Jeff from Young, April Gay, and Waverly Lim. All of you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate your time. So with that being said, thank you so much, and have a good rest of the week. Bye.